Perfect. Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. I am joined with Chaston for a little world event, the first world event in the in the current timeline and part of the new channel. Chaston gets to be the lucky number one to be tested on this.
Yes, the great level 16 ruler of hell.
Yes. To catch up, we'll be doing a lore video later on the timeline. However, the basic scenario of what's going on is the year 37 AS. Toutler has recently, or just fallen in battle days prior. And Bardrus Stonesend and a party managed to slay and take the seat of the previous High King, known as Stone the Corrupt, creating the Ivory Blade Holy Order. And with Vasul himself heading up this holy order. Now, to get into it, as the days have gone on, you've been kind of centralizing your power, figuring out exactly what the chair had capabilities of. Giving up the sword regicide to Robot, I believe, was going to be the one who'd hold it for the time being.
He's holding it until later when I'm going to give it to Cameron's Paladin.
Okay. All right. So, as days have gone by, and you've been slowly figuring out how the power of the chair works, the rest of the party that was with you has now dissipated amongst their own lands back to the mortal plane. In those days, you figure out at least the very basics of how this chair works. You understand that it does give buffs, and it definitely has fallen silent upon you, as if it's waiting for you to prove your worthiness of it. But it doesn't seem to not recognize your power, as it does give you some of the minor abilities that the chair offered the previous High King. Firstly, you learn that Stone the Corrupt was not the first to sit this throne. This is actually, and you catch on, this was Alenta's throne for controlling this planet and the divine beings originally. That even Stone the Corrupt had yet to manage to unlock its full potential, and actually was on the brink of doing so before you lot arrived. You also learn that it gives you the ability to see anywhere in the world at any time of any person you can think of, giving you almost a list of all the notable people, where they're at, what they're doing, what their capabilities are, and all that. Giving you even a list of who would be compatible with your now pious position, and basically able to be chosen as champions. And while you're looking through this, you notice the last ability it shows you, and it shows you the current situation of the world. As you watch the domains that you kind of grew up learning about as you studied, as you kind of saw or read about all these places that were said to be, in a sense, the afterlife, the domain of order, domain of chaos. Suddenly, the sky seems to give off a strange glow to it, almost this purplish hue, and you watch as the clouds that surrounded these domains, that lifted them up and separated them away into the weave itself, is suddenly dissipating as people seem to be descending onto the world, almost like meteors flying down. And you recognize most of them were the gods talked about in the books you'd read, from the Red Orc gods, such as Ashamar, to the old giants, seeing Faltharn's father descending, Ella Ugbao being lifted out of the underworld and being brought to the main plane. All but Calthun, Tanaruk, and yourself currently can still hold their positions. And as you watch as these gods descend, the previous supposed High King, Cyrus, descending into the world and disappearing, you notice from the beyond this veil some 5 different strange colors that as you look over them, or as you look towards their direction and slowly tilt your head, they change each and individually. But each of them you can sense a power that is beyond even your understanding. Something that forces you to almost bend to it. And these are pretty easily recognizable as, immediately you recognize the first one at least, as Thief, the God of Time. As they seem to be almost watching the planet to see what happens. You see, as you look on, four lights suddenly appear on the planet, individually and in different areas. One in the Drow lands, another in the Tiefling lands, one in the Nordic territories, and there's one that you saw for a moment but weren't able to catch it. What would you like to do?
First, can I do what the old hiking did where he could kind of show up where he was looking, at least with an avatar?
You have not figured out yet how to activate that.
Damn. Because I want to get in contact with Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
Can I look at where Cyrus is right now?
Yeah, as you zoom in, give me a moment to test something. Okay. Give me a second to roll. Okay. As you go to seek his Cyrus out, as you watch, you saw where he fell over near the Rakshasa island, or the islands recognized under the Rakshasa Empire. It starts to zoom in, and immediately you feel, or you see Cyrus looking at where this chair is seeing him through. Almost as if a man was looking through a camera. He seems to glare, and immediately you see the signal cuts.
I wanted to wave him towards me. He gave me a boon. He shouldn't hate me. God damn it! Aw. Damn it!
You get the sense that your power is not exactly distinguishable from the previous person who sat upon this chair.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, is his boon gone, or is it still there?
It is gone.
I can erase that, because that means I have less health.
Mm-hmm.
Is Normac's boon, because I know he's technically still a powerful being, is his boon still there?
It is gone.
Because I knew he was still a fucking great worm.
Yes, but given your position and your power, you can no longer receive boons from other beings. Besides those more powerful than you.
I don't think I'm more powerful than the dragon right now, I'm gonna be honest.
Technically your position you are. You are one of the true gods. A great worm, while it is recognized as a cataclysmic event and creature of great power, most of the high gods in my world, the true gods, stand
Position
second. Stand second only to the gods of the beyond.
No, that's fair enough. Alright, my health is fixed. There's not a lot I can do here. Can I check where Rashaz is? Because I never specified where he was going.
Yes, you see that Rashaz is currently sitting unconscious in the middle of what looks to be a very thick, swampy-like area with strange, scaly-like creatures that almost look like larger, but bulkier and more muscular dragonborn.
Huh. Since I went through all the layers of hell, Voss did, does Voss know how to send other people places? Like how he got here in the first place? Does he know in basically reverse?
He can open portals within his castle to send those who serve him out, if he so chooses, yes.
Can I re-grab them afterwards?
They should, most demons and devils will have the ability to teleport back.
Well, I'm saying for Robot.
Robot is now classified as a fiend, yeah.
So he can come back. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd like to send him to grab Rashaz.
Okay.
And just with him. I think he's strong. Okay.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Oh, I'm really bad at these.
That's fair.
That's unfortunate. That's a 6.
Okay. You watch as Robot goes to the portal, and you find him standing in the Nordic lands in the blown up capital of Bolton Citadel.
There was a light marching. Where's the light at? There was a light in the Nordic land.
There was.
I guess I can.
Is that what you're going to send Robot to do first?
Can I not get sight on it? Do I have to send him?
Oh, no, you can try. Go ahead and give me another Arcana check.
I'd like to give it I'd rather him not walk into a situation that's really bad. I am getting terrible roll. That's a 5.
Okay, give me a 1. one
That's
second.
really unfortunate.
As you start to uh, zoom in towards where you saw one of the lights, um, you suddenly notice that for some reason you can't seem to get narrowed in close enough to get any distinct where this person is. But you do realize as you look on that the light itself was not coming directly from Bolton Citadel, but rather just north of it in Calbridge. But that's all you're able to find.
Oh, I know what that light is now. Oh, you son of a. I don't want to mess with that yet.
Um, I don't.
You
I have
know
no
what?
idea what you're talking about, and the audience can guess what you're thinking.
Look, I won't say what it is, but I don't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole right now. I'm good.
Okay. I will say, as you look on, you do get notices that the Dragon's Gate Empire, also now known as the Empire of Clan Zarius or the Zarius Empire, has fully retaken back the Gnomish lands. They seem to have managed to push the mountain elves to into their central stronghold and have managed to start heading towards the Spidian Empire, also known amongst most commoners as the Drowlands. Um, as the full might of both the High Elves and Clan Zarius is marching forward. I will also mention that mortals will know you now as Bardrus Stonesend.
Yep.
Um, Also, you do see now noted that Kurgan's name, as you look on at the list as one of the notable people in power of the world, is now known as Ironbeard.
Huh.
Yes.
Can I check on him? What's he?
Give me an Arcana check.
I can't get 3 battles in a row, right?
Oh,
That's
why do you think the old High King used to show up with an
no,
avatar rather than look?
that's a 16. That's acceptable.
That's not bad. As you look on, you come to the throne room, and you don't. It zooms into the throne room where you're expecting Kurgan to be, but it seems to continue going deeper, and you see down beneath in the Dragon Forge, Kurgan is tied up. And you see a very old dwarven gentleman with weird, strange horns coming out of his head. Horns that you've never seen even amongst the demons and devils of of Moors. And as you watch, he seems to kind of pick up Kurgan with this unnatural strength and throws him into this massive pit filled with what looks to be some sort of red liquid that seems to be spewing from this iron dragon's mouth that in one of the corners. And you see for a moment some flashes, and you recognize this spell. This is a true polymorph spell in the oldest of sense. When, as you kind of look on watching this, the chair begins to explain that this is one of the ancient 10th level spells that was only accessible amongst demigods before the Age of Chaos and before the Great Splitting happened. The only people known that would be able to currently use these spells would be one of the 12 lords, 9 of which are currently dead and confirmed dead.
And there's the 10th. Oh boy.
Well, as you watch as he throws him in, and something starts to kind of crawl its way out, and you see these strange, like metallic hands, and out comes a fully metallic dwarf with a strange gemstone stuck into his forehead. And you watch as the iron dwarf comes out, a servant to Clan Zarius.
Man, I actually liked Kurgan. My poor dwarf.
I will say, you can see his spirit is still there. He's not dead.
Yeah, but I can't do anything about it right now.
True. He does have an iron beard now, though, which you can
Good
hear as
for
it
him.
screeches across his chest piece.
Yeah, good for him with his iron beard.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you see Ogum kind of maniacally laughing as you now flip back to a further out screen of the world, and you can see the armies of Clan Zarius continuing to push. some heading south towards the Tiefling lands to hit the capital from the northern portion. The mountain elves seem to have completely fallen under the spell of Clan Zarius now that you've noticed. You also see what is the cathedral, the last cathedral of the Genasi lands, where currently it looks to be that Malthor was, but had abandoned it. Only knowing of Malthor as a original figure of almost a religious figure of sorts, not recognized by many nations. And yeah, what else would you like to know or do?
Maya's character, her like world leader.
Which one? Zaya Silver or Raven Song, the former god, or Tikva Silver Song, the
Ikva, she's a wizard, right?
correct.
Can I
Well,
roll
she's a
Arcana?
sorcerer, but yeah.
Well, either way, that still works.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll Arcana to not only zoom in on her but try to get in contact?
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. Let's see what you roll.
It's a 12. It's not the worst it could have done. But...
So as you zoom in, you do see her, and her capital is under siege. You see, the dwarven forces of Clan Zarius, and what catches your attention most as you're looking on, she's fighting on the battlements of the city against this army. Off in the distance, you can see what looks to be a strange group in the middle of this army of dwarves. As you kind of look on, barely being able to make it out from this distance, you see a giant three-headed gnoll, a warforged that seems to have grown a small beard, almost an actual almost human-like beard, a slime that seems to be jumping on every single tiefling it can, and almost melting them down to an acid pit, a gem-like dragonborn which you've never seen or heard of, and that's all you catch from them.
Gem like Dragonborn. Is he back already? Oh shit, okay. So I guess that's a no for contact.
You're not able to get into her. It seems she's too distracted currently fighting. Though you do notice something interesting. One of the lights you saw earlier, as you look on, is still glowing, and you see a small version of what looks like Tikva. Glowing.
That's probably maybe a good thing? I don't know.
She looks to be around 16-ish, if you'd had to guess for a tiefling. At least for humans, she definitely reminds you of a teenaged human. But she's standing in the castle, currently talking. Looks like to what, as you actually recognize immediately looking on, you see as she is looking into a mirror, and you see one of the few legends you actually know from the Tiefling lands, the warrior known as Gaul. The supposed naked berserker, the thumb taker of even giants, well-known man, and you can see his figure in the mirror. She seems to be talking to him.
Well, there's going to be a grudge match. Him and Kurgan do not get along. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. She's not as distracted. Can I roll to talk to her?
Yep.
16.
Okay, as you start to zoom in and you're and you can feel the link starting to establish itself, suddenly this strange darkness surrounds you and the chair deactivates completely. You find yourself sitting in a dark room now. All of your magic feels to have dissipated. And stands before you this very small gnome with long black hair, 2 red eyes, very pale skin, very thick glasses on his face, wearing a nice little, what you'd guess is some sort of nobleman's clothing. It's almost like a suit of sorts, but the pants seem to be made almost into a kilt-like structure, similar to what dwarves in the Holy Dwarven Empire would wear. And he looks at you as he stands, and you can feel the pressure coming off this man. This is emanating more pressure than you felt even fighting literally the High King himself. As everything around you seems to start to kind of go darker and darker. And he just stares at you for a moment. And as you kind of sit there speechless, he looks at you and goes, "What would a small, insignificant ant want with my chosen hero?"
I just need to get word to the girl's mother to get help to stop the world from devolving into what it is.
Hmm. And what do I get out of this that would entertain me?
What would you like out of it? Still figuring out what I can do. I don't know how much I can do for you. Fairly new to this.
He starts to kind of pace back and forth, looks out on your castle walls. You see a little like gargoyle, like demon, seems to kind of walk over towards him, and he just kind of grabs it around the head, and you see him crush it in his hands as he wipes it off on the wall. And he turns back to you and holds in his glass or in his left hand now a glass of some sort of strange liquid, and takes a deep sip, continuing to stare at you, never blinking. I am a man of boredom. Your world intrigues me. It's ending, and I would like you to participate. I would like you to choose to save it. For I think that would be more interesting to prolong the game. And anything to annoy Kid Liz. He kind of smirks at that. You, young Bardrus Stonesend, still in your infancy, need to understand the value of where you sit. You may be an administrator now for this world for us, but you are not the only one that is suitable for this position. Save the world and make it interesting. Fail, and I erase your utter existence.
Huh. At least we agree on one thing. Alright. That was the plan regardless. Still try to save it.
He nods and goes, Then I will grant you a boon. As you've lost two of yours, you may ask of me anything that is within my power to give you.
Out of game, I think what I really fucking need is a better weapon. I'm using a non-magical sword. Wait, that axe, did I ever find it? Because you said I would eventually.
Eventually, yeah. You haven't had time other than to consolidate that chair. You still haven't even gotten the rest of the floors under your control at this point. You are still the only. You are literally controlling only this floor currently.
Yeah, I know. So I'm trying to get in contact with the level 20.
Mm-hmm.
What does he really need? He doesn't need armor because he's part barbarian.
The gnome kind of tilts his head, and his hair kind of moves to the side. He looks almost truly like a gnome, but you can definitely tell this is just a figure that you're seeing as a portrayal of them to better enunciate what their features. And he kind of stops for a second and says, You don't know what you need?
No, I think I know what I need.
Then what is the boon you wish to ask?
My magic isn't exactly strong enough to affect the world as I wish. I've always been a swordsman.
Truly.
I need a way to get in contact and easier talk to everyone around, to consolidate forces in the first place. That's all I ask.
He takes a minute and thinks and goes, Tell me, young Bardrus Stonesend, how would you like to contact them? As he kind of flicks his nails, you can see as he's kind of picking at them.
Just need a way to make my image in front of them, so they know who I am, and a way to speak to them through said image.
He smiles and says, Okay. I'm gonna give you something, and in return, you will do as I ask. If you cannot manage to, let's say, enforce your will upon the world, well, let's just say non-existence is the least painful thing that we can do in these days. And he snaps his fingers, and before you suddenly stands a white gnome, or a very pale gnome with white hair, two different colored eyes, and a very annoyed look on his face. As you see the mark on his forehead, literally is a stone flying through the air, and the other gnome disappears. And you immediately feel your magic challenged, and that's where we're ending that.
Yeah, I don't know Voss probably doesn't know who
you would. Bardrus Stonesend would know exactly that this is Zilpip. This is the legendary mage of Zilpip. The magic he has is immense.
Ah,
Uh,
shit.
I can't wait for you to explain this to Wolf. Thank you all for watching this, and we will see you guys on the next update for poor Bartress Stonesend.